Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you are watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, when Raila Amolo Odinga demanded the government to bring back subsidy, some people have been asking where will the government get this money? But again, it is good we remind them that Raila Odinga is not stupid when he talk about subsidy. He is well aware on what is happening in the government. The truth is that William Ruto's government withdrew subsidy from Kenyans, then they provided another opportunity for them to loot that same money for their own personal activities and gain, as simple as that. So, as Raila has given this regime 14 days, all Kenyans should come up and agree with Raila Amolo Odinga and of course put pressure in this government so that they can return back subsidy to Kenyans. Because we are all well aware that there is enough money that can subsidize basic commodities like unga and other products in this country. And in that manner, of course, life will be affordable for everyone. Even at least those who are on the poverty line can afford to buy food with whatever amount of money they are having. Because again, cartels are making everything in this country to be like we have scarcity. So it is by design. Then they dictate the price at the end of the day. Now, to open your eye, or just to remind you that there is money in this country, but Ruto is misusing the money and his deputy, Ruto Gachagua. The emerging information is that Ruto and Gachagua have exceeded their fully 12 months budget just in a span of 6 to 7 months in office. Wametumia budget ya 12 months for a half a year. 1 year budget, they have spent it in just 6 months. That is the information. And remember, we are talking about William Ruto, who promised to reduce the borrowing. He promised that we are going to change we are going to have the austerity measures, which will change the culture of borrowing in this country, so that now we can reduce the borrowing. And now the information emerging is that executive office of the president has spent 9.09 billion shillings in 6 months' time. Yet, the previous budget for Uhuru Kenyatta, it was 8.64 billion, which was running for 12 months. Ruto is spending more than that money in just 6 months. What Uhuru was spending in 12 months. So this spend exceeded by 450.11 million shillings, close to 5.21% extra expenditure. That's William Samoei Ruto for you. These are the people who are telling you that Uhuru Kenyatta left the treasury empty. But they are here spending more than what Uhuru was spending. And despite Uhuru spending that, still he was giving subsidy. Sasa mnaelewa mambo ya subsidy penye imeenda. So between Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto, who is looting the treasury dry? Who is doing that? So we are speaking as of now, the additional expenditure has already been tabled in the National Assembly for a supplementary budget, which is just a mini budget, adding up to 5.8 billion shillings, which will make it now 13.83 billion to run the remaining 6 months to make it 12. Now look at that. At the end of the day, Ruto is going to spend 13.83 billion shillings in the same office where Uhuru Kenyatta was spending 8.64 billion. Uhuru anatumia 8.64, Ruto anakuja anatumia 13.83. Pesa ingine yamekula ni 5.18 billion extra. Alafu mnaambiwa hakuna pesa ya subsidy. So even I think Ruto needed just to appreciate that, being in the situation we are in as of now, definitely cost cutting was supposed to take place. And he had promised that he's going to do a cost cutting with 300 billion shillings. I don't know how that is happening, yet his office is already overspending. It is misusing. Actually, it is just looting. Look at that. So what was he telling Kenyans? Now you can see, between the person they were saying that he looted the treasury empty and the new person who is in the office who is misusing or abusing Kenyan shillings, Kenyan taxpayers' money. Now, let us go to Ruto Gachagua, because Gachagua in his office, the expense had climbed from 914.25 million to now 2.63 billion shillings. And now, he has been added a separate budget of 450.85 million shillings outside the presidency, according to the supplementary estimations. Double spending. So Gachagua office is going to spend double than what Ruto was spending when he was in that office. And Ruto is going to spend close to double what Uhuru Kenyatta was spending when he was in that office. Ikifika hapo, is Raila wrong when he called for mass action in case Ruto will not give subsidy in 14 days? You tell me, Kenyans, and anyone who want to think on this line, what stops the government to give people subsidy? If they're showing appetite of spending this much amount of money, then they're telling us that there is a lot of money in this country, that KRA has collected more, they have enough money, they have paid the debts, and they have extra. That's why they're spending in this manner. So if they're spending like this, why can't they help Kenyans to have affordable life? So me personally, I want to agree with Raila Amolo Odinga. The problem is not that we don't have money. We can have subsidy food. Basic commodity can be subsidized. Why is the office of the president looting treasury dry, yet we have kids who performed well in their KCPE, but they cannot go to school due to lack of school fees? Why is Kenyans still paying school fees in high school and primary? This money can take so many kids to school. We are talking about more than 5 billion shillings. In fact, day scholars should be just free. Why are we still paying? You see, zile shule za chini, their budget is about 12,000 day scholars. Why? Si serikali tupee tu wanafunzi chakula shuleni na wasome na wapewe vitabu. You buy from uniform, then books. Kibaki was giving books and pen. Nilikuwa primary by that time. So we are here with Ruto. This gives the reason to Raila Amolo Odinga to call for mass action and give an ultimatum of 14 days for this government to give that subsidy to the people who are suffering in this country. Because Ruto want to pretend like there is no hunger here, but we know very well that people in Marsabit are dying of hunger. People in Northeastern are dying of hunger. People in Lower Eastern are dying of hunger. People in Mount Kenya are starving from hunger. You come to Western, there is problem. Nyanza is same. Of course, Coast region has the similar problem. Many are starving because they cannot afford food in this country. So let him stop the story about fertilizer, because when you ask him about subsidy, he tell you that I have brought subsidy fertilizer, and we know this one was a gift from Russia, free. Alafu tena wameuza bei kali kuliko ile hata Uhuru alikuwa anapeana. The last fertilizer Peter Munya gave, if I remember, in April there, it was cheaper than what Ruto is giving as of now. So who gave subsidy? Remember, Peter Munya ilikuwa ya kununuliwa. Hii ya Ruto ni ya zawadi. Who is fooling Kenyans? Ruto is lying to you. He wants you to believe that there is no money in this country. He wants to create that perception so that you will not question him when he's looting the treasury. When Gachagua and Ruto are eating under their government with their people, you will think that there is no money. That's what you want to believe. So you want to plant that kind of perception in your mind, so that every time you think about hunger, you slept hunger and what, you will be aware in your mind that there is no money. We have enough money, but people are here spending this money for their own personal gain, but not just to serve in that office. So subsidy must be returned. As long as they're spending like this, they have told that there is money. So Kenyans should know that there is money in this government. They must give subsidy. Period.